Hey everyone, my name is Gavin, and this will be a tutorial on how to create a laser guidance system with some Python in the BGE. And for those of you that don't know what a laser guidance system, it's essentially an object pointing a laser at a certain object or something in the world and having an object follow to that system, or follows to the spot where that laser is hitting. That's not really doing it much justice, but that's essentially what it kind of is. Alright, I'm just going to get started. So to start off, let's go from defaults to game logic, blender, render, blender, game. And on this cube in the middle, I'm going to right click and rename it as player. So let's rename this guy as player. Let's add a blue material right here. Blue like this. And what we're going to do is add an always sensor. And let's add a ray sensor. This ray sensor, I'll rename it as ray lowercase, will have a range of 100 on the positive y-axis. And it'll be looking for a property block. Connect this to a Python controller like this, and connect it like this. Let's do templates Python and then game logic simple. And let's delete the portion I have highlighted right here. Hit Control and scroll up to make your text larger. And rename this as scripts.py and add this right here. Alright, now that we have this, what we're going to do is have the ability for our player to rotate. So let's add two keyboard sensors. This first one I'll call left. A will be selected. Then this next will be right, and D will be selected. Okay, now that we have this, add two motion actuators. And on this first one, since we want to turn left, let's have 2 degrees that way. On the 2 degrees rotating on the z-axis, and for right, let's have -2 degrees on the z-axis. Okay, so we should be able to see that we can connect these like this, and if we hit P to play, we can rotate this cube like this. Alright, now that we have this, what I'm going to do is drag our cube just above the main game map, and I'm going to do spacebar and then add a plane, hit S and 10, and I'll probably hit S and 2 one more time to scale it up. And let's go into edit mode really quick. And on this plane, let's do W subdivide a few times. So keep W subdividing. And let's drag the walls of this plane up. So hit B as in boy and drag over the corners. B as in boy, drag over the corners. We just get these. And we're going to drag them up so our enemies don't get, or our objects don't get pushed out of the game map. Alright, hit E and move it up. Alright. And on this plane, I'm actually going to add a material, let's say turquoise. So we've got our game map like this. Alright, let's do spacebar and then add a cube. And these cubes that we're going to be adding into our map, they're going to have character physics. They're going to be named block, and they're going to have the property block. Alright, block like this. Alright, and let's add a new material onto them. These new materials, let's say, will be green. So if we hit P, we can see they're going to drop like this. And what we're going to do is in our script, we're going to have our ray sensor. So let's have if ray.positive, or actually we need to define our ray. So ray is going to equal controller.sensors ray. And if ray.positive, we're going to do render.drawLine, own.worldPosition, ray.hitPosition, and what we're going to do is have the color of our ray be red. So let's have 1, 0, 0 like this. Alright, and let's actually do from BGE imports render at the top. So if we hit P, we can see there's a red laser now in the middle of our screen pointing at that one object. Alright, now that we have this, what I'm going to do is copy this green cube, this block object, 3 times, or twice actually, dragging one to each corner like this. So we can see I can move this cube around and I'll be finding an object in the scene like this. Alright, now let's actually make our object that is going to track around to our other objects. So let's do spacebar and then add a cube. This cube will be something like, I'll call it turret. How about that? Turret will work. Let's give it, let's say character physics, actor. I'll drag our turret up. And let's add an edit object actuator. Change it from add object to track to. And I'll actually call it track to. And I'll keep it blank for now. And for a motion actuator, let's do 0.2. And I'll call this move. Now that we have these two, I'm going to actually make the color of our turret red like this. I'm going to shift and right click on our player, and you can see that we've got our two the two actuators, and connect those to the player's Python controller. Now inside of our scripts, let's define those two actuators. So let's do track to is going to equal controller actuators track to. Then move is going to equal controller to actuators move. Alright, and if the ray sensor is positive, what we're going to do is have targets is going to equal ray.hitObjects. We're going to do track2.object is going to equal targets. We're going to activate move, so const.activate move and const.activate track2. If the ray sensor is not positive, we're going to deactivate move and const.deactivate track2. So what should happen is if I drag this back and hit P to play, it'll try and move around. And as you can see, it's going to try and move towards that object. Actually, something I might do is, because it's kind of interfering a little bit, I'll take this section out right here, the last part, the else statement. And we should be able to see that it's going to track to it like this. It'll just track to whatever its new target is. Alright, so this is how you create a simple laser guidance system with Python in the BGE. I hope you guys find this very useful. I will show you the script just for one more second. Alright, so I'll drag the script out. Here it is. I'll drag this down. Okay. And you just have to remember the ray sensor is on the player, and the object that you actually want to have the tracking happen to is on the other object. Alright, well, thanks you guys for watching.